related to vacant property and absentee owner landlord issues in your district?
There's nothing I can do. Again, the county will not have any authority in that particular area. You know, that again ends up down at the township, village, and city level.
Well, that's kind of a bummer. I thought there was something we could do about that at the county level, but maybe we can come up with some guidelines at the county level that everybody can live with and take to their township boards and say, hey, we need to do something about this. You know, I mean, we've got properties that are being lived in by vagrants or being destroyed by, you know, teenagers or whatever the case is. Houses overrun by animals, whether it's rats or cats or whatever the case is, and that's not good for the community either. So I'd like to do something about it, and I guess the question would be what? So if we can't do a countywide blight ordinance, you know, maybe the best thing we can do is at least come up with some guidelines that we could ask the townships and villages to run under.
Okay, the next question is for Mr. Kasprzak. There's been a lot of talk about smart development in our area. How do you define this term, and how do you intend on applying this strategy to your district?
I'm not really sure what the term, or what the smart development, the definition of that term is. It's only maybe you can help me out, because I honestly don't know.
I would interpret that as the high-tech development taking place in the city.
Okay. Yeah, I understand we have smart zones, and there's a tax incentive for that, but I'm honestly not sure how that whole situation works. Just honestly, I'm not sure.
I guess the way I would look at this is Houghton County, for example, pays $12,000 a year to the Upper Peninsula Planning, Western Upper Peninsula Planning and Development region, and I think it's through WPIR, KEDA, and organizations of that nature that the smart development is going to take place in cooperation with Michigan Tech and Finlandia University, and for example, the trail networks that we're developing and things of that nature that will attract the high-tech industries into these smart development areas.
Okay, the next question is for Mr. Pintar. In recent years, the development of the Keweenaw National Historic Park and world-class recreation trails have stimulated tourist activity and spurred economic growth in our area. How do you plan to support and or expand recreation and tourist destinations in your district?
Well, not only in my district, but in Houghton County. And as I mentioned, the Houghton-Keweenaw Recreation Authority was formed recently, and in fact that came about based on some meetings that were held by the Houghton County Planning Commission, of which I'm a member, and that led to the formation of this authority. It's just recently gotten organized. I think it's already submitting proposals to the DNR with regards to trails, and one of the main goals is to come up with trails that have permanent access. In other words, either easements or some sort of permanent access to these trails, and to develop new trails, again, in both the motorized and non-motorized areas.
Yeah, I'm with Tony on the Trail Authority. I think that was an awesome idea. I think, you know, there was at least some confusion before the Trail Authority was formed on which trails were usable by motorized and which ones were usable by non-motorized people. So, but it just kind of shows how important it is to support the services that we already have here, because without the airport, without the Trail Authority, we wouldn't have the vacation destination that we've become in the past 20 years. So, and then obviously protecting our environment, shall we say, our living quarters is very important as well for that.
Okay, the next question is, or the last question is for Mr. Kasprzak. We've done 11 questions in 30 minutes. How do you plan to address the diverse and expansive needs of your constituents?
Well, the thing that I want to continue doing is what I've been doing for the past couple of months, and that's talking to them on a personal basis and finding out what their problems are, what their issues are, if there is anything that we can do at the county level to help them. and then making sure that I stay on top of that so that I don't lose touch with the people in my district.
Well, I think already, at least if you look at this from the county standpoint, we already are supporting all the diverse interests in Houghton County. If you take, for example, the youth versus the senior citizens versus the middle-income people, low-income people, I think we are providing those services to these groups of people. And I guess in terms of my district, I intend to continue performing in that particular fashion.
Okay, we are at the final minutes of this segment when each candidate will be given 1 minute to make a closing statement. Mr. Kasprzak, you may begin.
Well, thanks for sitting through all this and sitting through both sets of candidates and listening to what we have to say, and hopefully you can take that home, spread it around, digest it a little bit. I'm hoping for your vote on November 4th because I'm the candidate that cares about what you think.
I guess I'd sort of continue some of the comments I made right at the beginning. And what I'd like to emphasize at this point, in terms of Houghton County's involvement, we, as I mentioned, we support Wupperter. We have 2 representatives on the Michigan Works Administrative Board, and Wupperter, Michigan Works, KEDA, and the education institutes are beginning to cooperate on a regional basis over the entire Upper Peninsula to put together a very significant career counseling program for all of the youth in the Upper Peninsula, and in this case also in particular with regards to Houghton County. So that means, for example, collaboration with the intermediate school district, the universities, the business community, and government, that hopefully all of our youth will get counseling throughout their educational careers, so by the time they graduate from high school, they will have some idea what type of career they want to pursue.
Candidates, thank you for participating in our Candidates Forum on Children's Issues this evening. That concludes this evening's Candidate Forum. I want to thank the candidates, Hancock Public Schools, our sponsors, Copper Country Human Services Coordinating Body, Copper Country Great Start Collaborative, the League of Women Voters of the Copper Country, and Superior Child Abuse Prevention Council. I'd also like to thank our timers from the League of Women Voters, Barry Fink and Ellen Varney. Our screeners tonight were Kathy Benda from the Great Start Collaborative and Kathy Flagstaff from the League of Women Voters. Bill Fink for videotaping, TV6, TV10, the Daily Mining Gazette, Houghton Community Broadcasting Company that includes The Wolf, K-Bear, and WCCY for publicity and also for being here tonight. The League of Women Voters Guide will be in the paper tomorrow, Saturday, October 18th, and they'll also be available in various locations in Houghton and Keweenaw counties. It will also be online at the League's website, www.lwvccmi.org. Finally, we want to thank all of you in the audience who took the time to come out tonight and learn about the candidates. We hope those of you in the audience have found the evening informative and helpful. Please make your voices heard by voting in the election on Tuesday, November 4th. Oh, and also Keweenaw Now for broadcasting. Thank you. So remember to vote in the general election on November 4th. Thank you.